Have you ever wondered whether you should use dry pastels or oil pastels in your mixed media paintings? Well, I'm going to talk about both today. First, I'm going to talk about dry pastels, and the brand that I use is Sennelier, both of these brands. Now, Sennelier did not invent the dry pastel, but they did invent the oil pastel. But let's talk about the dry first. When I first started on my color art making journey many decades ago, I started working with pastels. It was such a wonderful experience to use these different colors and without mixing, and that was really what hooked me on color after a childhood spent drawing in pencil. This was my color beginning. So dry pastels these have a higher pigment load than the oil. They're really soft, buttery. There's more colors available, and they're super soft. However, if you put them on your artwork, they're kind of smeary. If you paint over it, it's going to blend and smear. So if you like the blended look, that's okay. And even if you put, I have some gel medium here. If you put gel medium over it, you can seal it in. If you do it carefully, if you really want to use these dry pastels, you can seal that in, and when it dries, it'll be there pretty much with just some slight smearing. Now, what I really love using these dry pastels for is gel plate printing. These figures were drawn with the dry pastels. And if you want to know how I did this, there's a link in the description to this video where I use the technique of using dry pastels on gel plates. It's really my favorite. So let's move on to the oil pastels. I just have a 12-pack of these. This is the little brochure that comes with it. There's a lot of colors available in oil, not quite as many as the dry, but if you notice, it's kind of redundant, like the reds are very similar or the blues are very similar. So you don't need to have every color that they make. I do very well with this 12-pack. So the oil pastels are really great for mark making, and they're kind of have that crayon-like look. So if you make some marks over your dry acrylic painting, you can varnish over it, you can paint over it. Even though this is oil-based and the varnish and the paint is water-based, it seems totally compatible. I have never had any trouble varnishing over the top of my mark making. Also, it doesn't smear, it stays put. I absolutely love my Sennelier dry pastels. I would recommend the oil-based. They're just as buttery soft. They're very creamy. They go on nicely, make very distinct marks that can be sealed with varnish. I would recommend this for your mixed media, and it does really add to your acrylics. If you're going for more of that hand-drawn, if you're going for that mixed media look where maybe you're doing some collage and some painting and some possibly stamping, include some oil pastels in your arsenal. Include some oil pastels for some really interesting marks. Now, I have a link in the description to all that I'm using today: the dry pastels, the oil pastels, plus the gel medium, which will seal the dry very nicely.